Welcome to today's Triple Z. The Triple Z podcast is a daily program that you can use to help you fall asleep each night. Just turn down the volume, lay back, relax, and enjoy as you fall asleep. Today we are reading Microsoft's Terms of Service Agreement and their privacy policy as posted on their site on November 2nd, 2022. If you enjoy our program, please be sure to write us a review on your podcast platform and share us with a friend. You both might sleep just a little better at night. Our website is Triple Z, that's 3zs.media. You can also like and share our content on Facebook or our Instagram account ZZZ Media Podcast. Music for today's episode was provided by the Sleep Channel on Spotify. Microsoft Terms of Use. Last updated February 7th, 2022. Acceptance of terms. The services that Microsoft provides to you are subject to the following terms of use, TOU. Microsoft reserves the right to update and modify the TOU at any time without notice to you. The most current version of the TOU can be reviewed by clicking on the Terms of Use hyperlink located at the bottom of our web pages. When we make updates to the TOU, Microsoft will update the date at the top of this page. By using the website after a new version of the TOU has been posted, you agree to the terms of such new version. Description of services. Through its network of web properties, Microsoft provides you with access to a variety of resources, including developer tools, download areas, communication forums, and product information, collectively services. The services, including any updates, enhancements, new features, and or the addition of any new web properties, are subject to these TOU. Personal and non-commercial use limitation. Unless otherwise specified, the services are for your personal and non-commercial use. You may not modify, copy, distribute, transmit, display, perform, reproduce, publish, license, create derivative works from, transfer, or sell any information, software, products, or services obtained from the services. Privacy and protection of personal information. Review the privacy statement disclosures relating to the collection and use of your personal data. Content. All content included in or made available through the services, such as text, graphics, logos, icons, images, sounds, music, digital downloads, data compilation, software, and documents, is the exclusive property of Microsoft or its content suppliers and is protected by the various applicable trade dress, copyright, trademark, patent, and other intellectual property and unfair competition laws in the United States and internationally, collectively, content. All rights not expressly granted to you in this TOU are reserved and retained by Microsoft or its licensors, suppliers, publishers, rights holders, or other content providers. Software. Any software that is made available to download from the services, software, is the copyrighted work of Microsoft and or its suppliers. Use of the software is governed by the terms of the end-user license agreement, if any, which accompanies or is included with the software license agreement. An end user will be unable to install any software that is accompanied by or includes a license agreement unless he or she first agrees to the license agreement terms. Third-party scripts or code, linked to or referenced from this website, are licensed to you by the third parties that own such code, not by Microsoft. The software is made available for download solely for use by end users according to the license agreement. Any reproduction or redistribution of the software not in accordance with the license agreement is expressly prohibited by law and may result in severe civil and criminal penalties. Violators will be prosecuted to the maximum extent possible. Without limiting the foregoing, copying or reproduction of the software to any other server or location for further reproduction or redistribution is expressly prohibited, unless such reproduction or redistribution is expressly permitted by the license agreement accompanying such software. The software is warranted, if at all, only according to the terms of the license agreement. Except as warranted in the license agreement, Microsoft Corporation hereby disclaims all warranties and conditions with regard to the software, including all warranties and conditions of merchantability, whether express, implied or statutory, fitness for a particular purpose, title, and non-infringement. For your convenience, Microsoft may make available as part of the services or in its software products, tools, and utilities for use and/or download. Microsoft does not make any assurances with regard to the accuracy of the results or output that derives from such use of any such tools and utilities. Please respect the intellectual property rights of others when using the tools and utilities made available on the services or in Microsoft software products. Restricted rights legend. Any software which is downloaded from the services for or on behalf of the United States of America, its agencies and/or instrumentalities, U.S. government, is provided with restricted rights. Use, duplication, or disclosure by the U.S. government is subject to restrictions as set forth in subparagraph C. 1, 2 of the Rights in Technical Data and Computer Software Clause at FARS 252.2277013 or subparagraphs C. 1 and 2 of the Commercial Computer Software Restricted Rights at 48 CFR 52.22719 as applicable. Manufacturer is Microsoft Corporation, 1 Microsoft Way, Redmond, Washington 980526399. Documents. Permission to use documents, such as white papers, press releases, datasheets, and FAQs, from the services is granted, provided that 1. The below copyright notice appears in all copies and that both the copyright notice and this permission notice appear. 2. Unless explicitly covered by another license or agreement, use of such documents from the services is for informational and non-commercial or personal use only and will not be copied or posted on any network computer or broadcast in any media. And 3. No modifications of any documents are made. Accredited educational institutions, such as K-12, universities, private/public colleges, and state community colleges, may download and reproduce the documents for distribution in the classroom. Distribution outside the classroom requires express written permission. Use for any other purpose is expressly prohibited by law and may result in severe civil and criminal penalties. Violators will be prosecuted to the maximum extent possible. Documents specified above do not include the design or layout of the Microsoft.com website or any other Microsoft-owned, operated, licensed, or controlled site. Elements of Microsoft websites are protected by trade dress, trademark, unfair competition, and other laws and may not be copied or imitated in whole or in part. No logo, graphic, sound, or image from any Microsoft website may be copied or retransmitted unless expressly permitted by Microsoft. Microsoft and/or its respective suppliers make no representations about the suitability of the information contained in the documents and related graphics published as part of the services for any purpose. All such documents and related graphics are provided as is without warranty of any kind. Microsoft and/or its respective suppliers hereby disclaim all warranties and conditions with regard to this information, including all warranties and conditions of merchantability, whether express, implied or statutory, fitness for a particular purpose, title, and non-infringement. In no event shall Microsoft and/or its respective suppliers be liable for any special, indirect, or consequential damages, or any damages whatsoever resulting from loss of use, data, or profits, whether in an action of contract, negligence, or other tortious action arising out of or in connection with the use or performance of information available from the services. The documents and related graphics published on the services could include technical inaccuracies or typographical errors. Changes are periodically added to the information herein. Microsoft and/or its respective suppliers may make improvements and/or changes in the products and/or the programs described herein at any time. Limitation of liability. In no event shall Microsoft and/or its respective suppliers be liable for any special, indirect, or consequential damages, or any damages whatsoever resulting from loss of use, data, or profits, whether in an action of contract, negligence, or other tortious action arising out of or in connection with the use or performance of software, documents, provision of or failure to provide services, or information available from the services. Member account, password, and security. If any of the services requires you to open an account, you must complete the registration process by providing us with current, complete, and accurate information as prompted by the applicable registration form. You also will choose a password and a username. You are entirely responsible for maintaining the confidentiality of your password and account. Furthermore, you are entirely responsible for any and all activities that occur under your account. You agree to notify Microsoft immediately of any unauthorized use of your account or any other breach of security. Microsoft will not be liable for any loss that you may incur as a result of someone else using your password or account either with or without your knowledge. However, you could be held liable for losses incurred by Microsoft or another party due to someone else using your account or password. You may not use anyone else's account at any time without the permission of the account holder. No unlawful or prohibited use. As a condition of your use of the services, you will not use the services for any purpose that is unlawful or prohibited by these terms, conditions, and notices. You may not use the services in any manner that could damage, disable, overburden, or impair any Microsoft server or the networks connected to any Microsoft server, or interfere with any other party's use and enjoyment of any services. You may not attempt to gain unauthorized access to any services, other accounts, computer systems, or networks connected to any Microsoft server or to any of the services through hacking, password mining, or any other means. You may not obtain or attempt to obtain any materials or information through any means not intentionally made available through the services. You may not attempt to copy or change, alter, or otherwise attempt to modify the services or these TOU. Use of services. The services may contain email services, bulletin board services, chat areas, news groups, forums, communities, personal web pages, calendars, photo albums, file cabinets, and/or other message or communication facilities designed to enable you to communicate with others, each of communication service and collectively communication services. You agree to use the communication services only to post, send, and receive messages and material that are proper and, when applicable, related to the particular communication service. By way of example, and not as a limitation, you agree that when using the communication services, you will not use the communication services in connection with surveys, contests, pyramid schemes, chain letters, junk email, spamming, or any duplicative or unsolicited messages, commercial or otherwise. Defame, abuse, harass, stalk, threaten, or otherwise violate the legal rights, such as rights of privacy and publicity, of others. Publish, post, upload, distribute, or disseminate any inappropriate, profane, defamatory, obscene, indecent, or unlawful topic, name, material, or information. Upload, or otherwise make available, files that contain images, photographs, software, or other material protected by intellectual property laws, including, by way of example, and not as limitation, copyright or trademark laws, or by rights of privacy or publicity, unless you own or control the rights thereto or have received all necessary consent to do the same. Use any material or information, including images or photographs, which are made available through the services in any manner that infringes any copyright, trademark, patent, trade secret, or other proprietary right of any party. Upload files that contain viruses, Trojan horses, worms, time bombs, cancel bots, corrupted files, or any other similar software or programs that may damage the operation of another's computer or property of another. Advertise or offer to sell or buy any goods or services for any business purpose unless such communication services specifically allow such messages. Download any file posted by another user of a communication service that you know, or reasonably should know, cannot be legally reproduced, displayed, performed, and/or distributed in such manner. Falsify or delete any copyright management information, such as author attributions, legal or other proper notices or proprietary designations or labels of the origin or source of software or other material contained in a file that is uploaded. Restrict or inhibit any other user from using and enjoying the communication services. Violate any code of conduct or other guidelines which may be applicable for any particular communication service. Harvest or otherwise collect information about others, including email addresses. Violate any applicable laws or regulations. Create a false identity for the purpose of misleading others. Use, download, or otherwise copy or provide, whether or not for a fee, to a person or entity any directory of users of the services or other user or usage information or any portion thereof. Microsoft has no obligation to monitor the communication services. However, Microsoft reserves the right to review materials posted to the communication services and to remove any materials in its sole discretion. Microsoft reserves the right to terminate your access to any or all of the communication services at any time, without notice, for any reason whatsoever. Microsoft reserves the right at all times to disclose any information as Microsoft deems necessary to satisfy any applicable law, regulation, legal process, or governmental request, or to edit, refuse to post, or to remove any information or materials, in whole or in part, in Microsoft's sole discretion. Always use caution when giving out any personally identifiable information about yourself or your children in any communication services. Microsoft does not control or endorse the content, messages, or information found in any communication services, and, therefore, Microsoft specifically disclaims any liability with regard to the communication services and any actions resulting from your participation in any communication services. Managers and hosts are not authorized Microsoft spokespersons, and their views do not necessarily reflect those of Microsoft. Materials uploaded to the communication services may be subject to posted limitations on usage, reproduction, and/or dissemination. You are responsible for adhering to such limitations if you download the materials. Materials provided to Microsoft or posted at any Microsoft website. Microsoft does not claim ownership of the materials you provide to Microsoft, including feedback and suggestions, or post, upload, input, or submit to any services or its associated services for review by the general public or by the members of any public or private community, each a submission and collectively submissions. However, by posting, uploading, inputting, providing, or submitting, posting your submission, you are granting Microsoft, its affiliated companies, and necessary sublicensees permission to use your submission in connection with the operation of their Internet businesses, including, without limitation, all Microsoft services, including, without limitation, the license rights to copy, distribute, transmit, publicly display, publicly perform, reproduce, edit, translate, and reformat your submission, to publish your name in connection with your submission, and the right to sublicense such rights to any supplier of the services. No compensation will be paid with respect to the use of your submission as provided herein. Microsoft is under no obligation to post or use any submission you may provide, and Microsoft may remove any submission at any time in its sole discretion. By posting a submission, you warrant and represent that you own or otherwise control all of the rights to your submission as described in these terms of use, including, without limitation, all the rights necessary for you to provide, post, upload, input, or submit the submissions. In addition to the warranty and representation set forth above, by posting a submission that contain images, photographs, pictures, or that are otherwise graphical in whole or in part images, you warrant and represent that you are the copyright owner of such images, or that the copyright owner of such images has granted you permission to use such images or any content and/or images contained in such images consistent with the manner and purpose of your use and is otherwise permitted by these terms of use and the services. B. You have the rights necessary to grant the licenses and sublicenses described in these terms of use, and C. That each person depicted in such images, if any, has provided consent to the use of the images as set forth in these terms of use, including, by way of example, and not as a limitation, the distribution, public display, and reproduction of such images. By posting images, you are granting to all members of your private community, for each such image is available to members of such private community, and B. to the general public, for each such image is available anywhere on the services other than a private community, permission to use your images in connection with the use, as permitted by these terms of use, of any of the services, including, by way of example, and not as a limitation, making prints and gift items which include such images, and including, without limitation, a non-exclusive, worldwide, royalty-free license to copy, distribute, transmit, publicly display, publicly perform, reproduce, edit, translate, and reformat your images without having your name attached to such images, and the right to sublicense such rights to any supplier of the services. The licenses granted in the preceding sentences for images will terminate at the time you completely remove such images from the services, provided that Such termination shall not affect any licenses granted in connection with such images prior to the time you completely remove such images. No compensation will be paid with respect to the use of your images. Notices and procedure for making claims of copyright infringement. Pursuant to Title 17, United States Code, Section 512, C2, notifications of claimed copyright infringement should be sent to service provider's designated agent. All inquiries not relevant to the following procedure will not receive a response. Visit infringement notices to locate the notice and procedure for making claims of copyright infringement. Links to third-party sites. The links in this area will let you leave Microsoft's site. The linked sites are not under the control of Microsoft, and Microsoft is not responsible for the contents of any linked site or any link contained in a linked site, or any changes or updates to such sites. Microsoft is not responsible for webcasting or any other form of transmission received from any linked site. Microsoft is providing these links to you only as a convenience, and the inclusion of any link does not imply endorsement by Microsoft of the site. Unsolicited idea submission policy. Microsoft or any of its employees do not accept or consider unsolicited ideas, including ideas for new advertising campaigns, new promotions, new products or technologies, processes, materials, marketing plans, or new product names. Please do not send any original creative artwork, samples, demos, or other works. The sole purpose of this policy is to avoid potential misunderstandings or disputes when Microsoft's products or marketing strategies might seem similar to ideas submitted to Microsoft. So, please do not send your unsolicited ideas to Microsoft or anyone at Microsoft. If, despite our request that you not send us your ideas and materials, you still send them, please understand that Microsoft makes no assurances that your ideas and materials will be treated as confidential or proprietary. Microsoft 2022. Your privacy is important to us. This privacy statement explains the personal data Microsoft processes, how Microsoft processes it, and for what purposes. Microsoft offers a wide range of products, including server products used to help operate enterprises worldwide, devices you use in your home, software that students use at school, and services developers use to create and host what's next. References to Microsoft products in this statement include Microsoft services, websites, apps, software, servers, and devices. Please read the product-specific details in this privacy statement, which provide additional relevant information. This statement applies to the interactions Microsoft has with you and the Microsoft products listed below, as well as other Microsoft products that display this statement. Young people may prefer starting with the Privacy for Young People page. That page highlights information that may be helpful for young people. Cookies. Most Microsoft sites use cookies, small text files placed on your device, which web servers utilize in the domain that place the cookie can retrieve later. We use cookies to store your preferences and settings, help with sign-in, provide targeted ads, and analyze site operations. For more information, see the Cookies and Similar Technologies section of this privacy statement. EU-US and Swiss-US Privacy Shield. Microsoft adheres to the principles of the EU-US and Swiss-US Privacy Shield frameworks, although Microsoft does not rely on the EU-US Privacy Shield framework as a legal basis for transfers of personal data in light of the judgment of the Court of Justice of the EU in Case C311/18. 2. Visit the U.S. Department of Commerce's Privacy Shield website. Contact us. If you have a privacy concern, complaint, or question for the Microsoft Chief Privacy Officer or EU Data Protection Officer, please contact us by using our web form. For more information about contacting Microsoft, including Microsoft Ireland Operations Limited, see the How to Contact US section of this privacy statement. Personal data we collect. Microsoft collects data from you through our interactions with you and through our products. You provide some of this data directly, and we get some of it by collecting data about your interactions, use, and experiences with our products. The data we collect depends on the context of your interactions with Microsoft and the choices you make, including your privacy settings and the products and features you use. We also obtain data about you from third parties. If you represent an organization, such as a business or school, that utilizes enterprise and developer products from Microsoft, please see the Enterprise and Developer Products section of this privacy statement to learn how we process your data. If you are an end user of a Microsoft product or a Microsoft account provided by your organization, please see the Products Provided by Your Organization and the Microsoft Account sections for more information. You have choices when it comes to the technology you use and the data you share. When we ask you to provide personal data, you can decline. Many of our products require some personal data to provide you with a service. If you choose not to provide data required to provide you with a product or feature, you cannot use that product or feature. Likewise, where we need to collect personal data by law or to enter into or carry out a contract with you, and you do not provide the data, we will not be able to enter into the contract, or if this relates to an existing product you're using, we may have to suspend or cancel it. We will notify you if this is the case at the time. Where providing the data is optional and you choose not to share personal data, features like personalization that use such data will not work for you. How we use personal data. Microsoft uses the data we collect to provide you with rich, interactive experiences. In particular, we use data to provide our products, which includes updating, securing, and troubleshooting, as well as providing support. It also includes sharing data when it is required to provide the service or carry out the transactions you request. Improve and develop our products. Personalize our products and make recommendations. Advertise and market to you, which includes sending promotional communications, targeting advertising, and presenting you with relevant offers. We also use the data to operate our business, which includes analyzing our performance, meeting our legal obligations, developing our workforce, and doing research. In carrying out these purposes, we combine data we collect from different contexts, for example, from your use of two Microsoft products, or obtained from third parties to give you a more seamless, consistent, and personalized experience to make informed business decisions and for other legitimate purposes. Our processing of personal data for these purposes includes both automated and manual, human methods of processing. Our automated methods often are related to and supported by our manual methods. For example, our automated methods include artificial intelligence, AI, which we think of as a set of technologies that enable computers to perceive, learn, reason, and assist in decision-making to solve problems in ways that are similar to what people do. To build, train, and improve the accuracy of our automated methods of processing, including AI, we manually review some of the predictions and inferences produced by the automated methods against the underlying data from which the predictions and inferences were made. For example, we manually review short snippets of voice data that we have taken steps to de-identify to improve our speech recognition technologies. This manual review may be conducted by Microsoft employees or vendors who are working on Microsoft's behalf. Reasons we share personal data. We share your personal data with your consent or to complete any transaction or provide any product you have requested or authorized. We also share data with Microsoft-controlled affiliates and subsidiaries, with vendors working on our behalf when required by law or to respond to legal process, to protect our customers, to protect lives, to maintain the security of our products, and to protect the rights and property of Microsoft and its customers. How to access and control your personal data. You can also make choices about the collection and use of your data by Microsoft. You can control your personal data that Microsoft has obtained and exercise your data protection rights by contacting Microsoft or using various tools we provide. In some cases, your ability to access or control your personal data will be limited, as required or permitted by applicable law. How you can access or control your personal data will also depend on which products you use. For example, you can control the use of your data for interest-based advertising from Microsoft by visiting our opt-out page. Choose whether you wish to receive promotional emails, SMS messages, telephone calls, and postal mail from Microsoft. Access and clear some of your data through the Microsoft Privacy Dashboard. Not all personal data processed by Microsoft can be accessed or controlled via the tools above. If you want to access or control personal data processed by Microsoft that is not available via the tools above or directly through the Microsoft products you use, you can always contact Microsoft at the address in the How to Contact Us section or by using our web form. We provide aggregate metrics about user requests to exercise their data protection rights via the Microsoft Privacy Report. Cookies and similar technologies. Cookies are small text files placed on your device to store data that can be recalled by a web server in the domain that placed the cookie. We use cookies and similar technologies for storing and honoring your preferences and settings, enabling you to sign in, providing interest-based advertising, combating fraud, analyzing how our products perform, and fulfilling other legitimate purposes. Microsoft apps use additional identifiers, such as the Advertising ID in Windows, described in the Advertising ID section of this privacy statement, for similar purposes. We also use web beacons to help deliver cookies and gather usage and performance data. Our websites may include web beacons, cookies, or similar technologies from third-party service providers. You have a variety of tools to control the data collected by cookies, web beacons, and similar technologies. For example, you can use controls in your internet browser to limit how the websites you visit are able to use cookies and to withdraw your consent by clearing or blocking cookies. Products provided by your organization, notice to end users. If you use a Microsoft product with an account provided by an organization you are affiliated with, such as your work or school account, that organization can control and administer your Microsoft product and product account, including controlling privacy-related settings of the product or product account. Access and process your data, including the interaction data, diagnostic data, and the contents of your communications and files associated with your Microsoft product and product accounts. If you lose access to your work or school account in event of change of employment, for example, you may lose access to products and the content associated with those products, including those you acquired on your own behalf, if you used your work or school account to sign into such products. Many Microsoft products are intended for use by organizations such as schools and businesses. Please see the Enterprise and Developer Products section of this privacy statement. If your organization provides you with access to Microsoft products, your use of the Microsoft products is subject to your organization's policies, if any. You should direct your privacy inquiries, including any requests to exercise your data protection rights, to your organization's administrator. When you use social features in Microsoft products, other users in your network may see some of your activity. About the social features and other functionality, please review documentation or help content specific to the Microsoft product. Microsoft is not responsible for the privacy or security practices of our customers, which may differ from those set forth in this privacy statement. When you use a Microsoft product provided by your organization, Microsoft's processing of your personal data in connection with that product is governed by a contract between Microsoft and your organization. Microsoft processes your personal data to provide the product to your organization and you, and in some cases for Microsoft's business operations related to providing the product as described in the Enterprise and Developer Products section. As mentioned above, if you have questions about Microsoft's processing of your personal data in connection with providing products to your organization, please contact your organization. If you have questions about Microsoft's business operations in connection with providing products to your organization as provided in the product terms, please contact Microsoft as described in the How to Contact Us section. For more information on our business operations, please see the Enterprise and Developer Products section. For Microsoft products provided by your K-12 school, including Microsoft 365 Education, Microsoft will not collect or use student personal data beyond that needed for authorized educational or school purposes. Not sell or rent student personal data. Not use or share student personal data for advertising or similar commercial purposes, such as behavioral targeting of advertisements to students. Not build a personal profile of a student other than for supporting authorized educational or school purposes or as authorized by the parent, guardian, or student of appropriate age, and require that our vendors with whom student personal data is shared to deliver the educational service, if any, are obligated to implement these same commitments for student personal data. Microsoft account. With a Microsoft account, you can sign into Microsoft products as well as those of select Microsoft partners. Personal data associated with your Microsoft account includes credentials, name and contact data, payment data, device and usage data, your contacts, information about your activities, and your interests and favorites. Signing into your Microsoft account enables personalization and consistent experiences across products and devices, permits you to use cloud data storage, allows you to make payments using payment instruments stored in your Microsoft account, and enables other features. There are 3 types of Microsoft account. When you create your own Microsoft account tied to your personal email address, we refer to that account as a personal Microsoft account. When you or your organization, such as an employer or your school, create your Microsoft account tied to your email address provided by that organization, we refer to that account as a work or school account. When you or your service provider, such as a cable or internet service provider, create your Microsoft account tied to your email address with your service provider's domain. We refer to that account as a third-party account. If you sign into a service offered by a third party with your Microsoft account, you will share with that third party the account data required by that service. Collection of data from children. When a Microsoft product collects age, and there is an age in your jurisdiction under which parental consent or authorization is required to use the product will either block users under that age or will ask them to provide consent or authorization from a parent or guardian before they can use it. We will not knowingly ask children under that age to provide more data than is required to provide for the product. Once parental consent or authorization is granted, the child's account is treated much like any other account. The child can access communication services like Outlook and Skype and can freely communicate and share data with other users of all ages. About parental consent and Microsoft Child accounts. Parents or guardians can change or revoke the consent choices previously made and review, edit, or request the deletion of the personal data of the children for whom they provided consent or authorization. As the organizer of a Microsoft Family Group, the parent or guardian can manage a child's information and settings on their family safety page and view and delete a child's data on their privacy dashboard. Select below for more information about children and Xbox profiles. Other important privacy information. Below you will find additional privacy information, such as how we secure your data, where we process your data, and how long we retain your data. You can find more information on Microsoft and our commitment to protecting your privacy at Microsoft Privacy. Enterprise and Developer Products. Enterprise and Developer Products are Microsoft products and related software offered to and designed primarily for use by organizations and developers. They include cloud services, referred to as online services in the product terms, such as Microsoft 365 and Office 365, Microsoft Azure, Microsoft Dynamics 365, and Microsoft Intune, for which an organization, our customer, contracts with Microsoft for the services, enterprise online services. Other enterprise and developer tools and cloud-based services, such as Azure PlayFab services, to see Azure PlayFab terms of service. Server, developer, and hybrid cloud platform products, such as Windows Server, SQL Server, Visual Studio, System Center, Azure Stack, and open source software like Bot Framework Solutions, enterprise and developer software. Appliances and hardware used for storage infrastructure, such as StorSimple, enterprise appliances. Professional services referred to in the product terms that are available with enterprise online services, such as onboarding services, data migration services, data science services, or services to supplement existing features in the enterprise online services. In the event of a conflict between this Microsoft privacy statement and the terms of any agreements between a customer and Microsoft for enterprise and developer products, the terms of those agreements will control. You can also about our enterprise and developer products features and settings, including choices that impact your privacy or your end user's privacy, in product documentation. If any of the terms below are not defined in this privacy statement or the product terms, they have the definitions below. General. When a customer tries, purchases, uses, or subscribes to enterprise and developer products, or obtains support for professional services with such products, Microsoft receives data from you and collects and generates data to provide the service, including improving, securing, and updating the service, conduct our business operations, and communicate with the customer. For example, when a customer engages with a Microsoft sales representative, we collect the customer's name and contact data, along with information about the customer's organization to support that engagement. When a customer interacts with a Microsoft support professional, we collect device and usage data or error reports to diagnose and resolve problems. When a customer pays for products, we collect contact and payment data to process the payment. When Microsoft sends communications to a customer, we use data to personalize the content of the communication. When a customer engages with Microsoft for professional services, we collect the name and contact data of the customer's designated point of contact and use information provided by the customer to perform the services that the customer has requested. The enterprise and developer products enable you to purchase, subscribe to, or use other products and online services from Microsoft or third parties with different privacy practices, and those other products and online services are governed by their respective privacy statements and policies. Productivity and communications products. Productivity and communications products are applications, software, and services you can use to create, store, and share documents, as well as communicate with others. Windows is a personalized computing environment that enables you to seamlessly roam and access services, preferences, and content across your computing devices from phones to tablets to the Surface Hub. Rather than residing as a static software program on your device, key components of Windows are cloud-based, and both cloud and local elements of Windows are updated regularly, providing you with the latest improvements and features. In order to provide this computing experience, we collect data about you, your device, and the way you use Windows. And because Windows is personal to you, we give you choices about the personal data we collect and how we use it. Note that if your Windows device is managed by your organization, such as your employer or school, your organization may use centralized management tools provided by Microsoft or others to access and process your data and to control device settings, including privacy settings, device policies, software updates, data collection by us or the organization, or other aspects of your device. Additionally, your organization may use management tools provided by Microsoft or others to access and process your data from that device, including your interaction data, diagnostic data, and the contents of your communications and files. For more information about data collection in Windows, see Data Collection Summary for Windows. This statement discusses Windows 10 and Windows 11, and references to Windows in this section relate to those product versions. Earlier versions of Windows, including Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows 8.1, are subject to their own privacy statements.